So good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy, and it gives me a great pleasure and honor to welcome you all tonight. So why are we here tonight? We're here to celebrate 20 years of safaris with the Creative Photo Academy. So 2025 marks our 20th anniversary of going to Africa. And I want you to introduce to you my partner for Africa, Maurice Oketch from Simba Marara Expedition. Everybody say hi to Maurice.
Hello,
And you guys
everyone.
can give a virtual hello in the chat. So you guys are going to be talking to us through the chat. So Maurice, you want to tell everybody a little bit about you and Simba Marara?
Yes, Simba Marara, Mark, of course, I'm born and raised in Mombasa, Kenya. I've been living in the US, Los Angeles now almost 32 years. And SM Expedition is in its 20th year, Mark, and it's growing.
Wow.
Every year it's exciting. Of course, meeting new people, new friends. And I enjoy photography. I enjoy the safari. Of course, Kenya is my country. Africa is my continent. The idea of going to Kenya, going to Uganda for the gorillas, going to Tanzania for the migration when we do go there, going to Botswana, it all excites me. And from photography perspective and from the cultural perspective, we combine the two worlds and we make it better.
Absolutely. And that's my whole thing, Maurice, is to make the world better. And that's how the conservation safari started. I mean, because you and I have we talked for those many years as we put this safari together, how we wanted to do things differently, how we wanted to give back, how we wanted it to be more sustainable, how we wanted it to make a difference to our friends in Africa. And I'm very excited I'm proud of the program we put together and proud of what we're doing today. So
Yes, and Mark, talking about giving back, I don't want to forget this one here. Part of Mark and I and the participants who come to us, I do offer free medical camps in Kenya, and a portion of all book safari goes towards funding it. In February, we do eye surgical procedures, and then in October, we do actual medical procedure. And this is thanks to Mark, you, and our clients and friends who come with us. It's all possible because of that.
So hopefully one day I'll be able to go with you on one of your medical safaris and do photo support for your group, because I think it's such a worthwhile cause
It will be
to be able to do
delightful.
that.
Yes, it will be delightful.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, we're going to be working through the chat tonight. So please type your questions through the chat. There is no question too large or too small. We're excited to have you here. I hope you guys are all excited. I am going to record this, so I will send all of you who are registered participants for tonight the recording of this. I know I sent some invites to people who had not registered, who had inquired about Africa in the past. If you're one of those people, go to creativephotoacademy.com and register for tonight's presentation. It's free, of course, and then you'll get the recording of it tomorrow. And any information you need, Maurice and I are here 100% for you. All right, so we're ready to go? You ready to go, Maurice?
I'm ready to go. I'm excited.
All right, here we go. Boom. So let me adjust. Hold on. If you guys can't see the presentation full screen, there you go. In the upper right-hand corner, click speaker, and then you will see the presentation full screen. So I want to welcome you to our Conservation Safari preview. My name's Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. I love to travel. I love to be out with you. I love to help you photograph. I love to be out with nature and to do a better job as a human being on this planet to represent photography and do it the right way. So our safari is coming up. We're very excited for October. And why are we going? We're going out there to have fun with and see and photograph these amazing animals. And I know a couple of you have been on safari before. Some of you have been with me, with other people. I can tell you that this will be as different a safari as you can imagine because of the program. that Maurice has put together for us in Kenya. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. We're going to see fantastic things. It's going to be beautiful and just wondrous at every step of the way. And we're going to be out there and we're going to be able to help by what we're doing to save this from the future, for the future. And this is what we're going to see. Oh, how come that didn't work? Here we go. Yep. And to be out with the animals, to be out with the elephants, to be out with the giraffes and the rhinos and the zebras is, to me, just absolutely amazing. And we have so much planned for you. I'm so excited about it. And like I said, if there's questions, if you got questions, ask. There's no question off boundary. We're going to answer all those questions tonight for you. How to get there, what to do, how to pack, what we're going to see. Is it safe? What are we going to eat? All that stuff is going to be covered in the presentation. Hopefully we'll be about 40 minutes and have plenty of time for questions and answers as we go along. So I just love being on safari. And somebody asked me, one of my group took this picture and they said, "Who's that?" And I said, "That's me when we're ready to go on safari in the morning," because that's what it feels like. That's what I feel like. So a couple of you have asked me, so Mark, what does a conservation safari mean? I mean, we're going on safari. We're going to Kenya. We're going to see amazing animals. We're going to meet some beautiful people. We're going to eat some great food. We're going to see some beautiful scenery. But the difference is that Maurice and I have found amazing sustainable lodges that are doing things the right way. And what do I mean by that? As a member of this planet, we've got to do a better job at preserving and not using things up to make it so that it will last. We're going to be supporting 4 fantastic conservancies that are doing amazing work at rescuing and rehabilitating the animals. We're going to have a wildlife-friendly mindset so that we're not going to do damage to the people, the landscape, and the animals, and we're going to have respect for nature and respect for the people as we go there. And that's what a conservation safari, in my mind, that's what we built. Right, Maurice?
Yes, sir. That's how I'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm excited, looking forward to Itumba.
Yeah, so am I. So what's the goal for tonight? You're going to watch tonight, you're going to ask your questions, and you're going to say, "Ooh, that's not kind of what I had in mind." That's fine. Great. God love you. Have a great time. But I hope that most of you are going to say, "Yes, count me in," because we've got 3 spots left. And in fact, on one of the safaris, we could probably squeeze a 4th in. So we've got room in 3 and 4 to fill the safari. So honestly, we want to fill the safari when we want to fill it tonight, because then you can start worrying about your camera gear, learning your camera, packing your clothing, getting your airfare, and all that crazy stuff. So we've got 2 groups. They're exactly the same safari, October 5th through the 17th and October 17th through the 29th. How do you pick which one? Whichever works on your schedule best. Honestly, just pick your schedule. Let's go. Both of the groups are great. It's the same team on the ground. And which one is going to be better? They're both going to be great. I have the honor of being able to go on both, so I'll tell you at the end. I've done this twice before, 2 safaris back to back, and they're always equal, but different. And on the first safari, we saw this and this and this. And on the second safari, we saw this and this and this. And they're both awesome. And if any of you want to take me up on this challenge and come on both, you will see that both safaris are going to be equally exciting and dynamic and fun and amazing. And we will see completely different animals and behaviors on one safari to the next, because it's wild. It's nature. It's what's out in the world. So you've got questions about the price. So $14,369 per person, double occupancy on the safari. If you want a single room, so you don't want to share a roommate, have a roommate, it's $2,600 additional. Maurice is asking for a $3,000 deposit today, and the second payment's coming up pretty soon, isn't it, Maurice?
It's coming up, yes.
Yeah. So what's included in that? The lodging, the meals, the safari, the guides, the park fees, the internal air, the airplane we're going to fly in Africa. What's not included is getting to and from Nairobi, Kenya. Your visas, and a visa to Kenya is $100. Travel insurance, we request that you get travel insurance. We require that you have medical insurance. Some of the meals, alcohol, soft drink, laundry, and tips. Just to let you know, my laundry and bar bill on most of the safaris is $100 to $150. And most of that is laundry, but it's amazing. And you will see, I've had 200 people go on safari with me to Africa over the last 10 years, last 20 years. 95% of them say it was the best trip they've ever been on. And that's why about a third of the group is already repeat safari people for us, right, Maurice?
Yep, that's true. Mark, before
Yeah.
you cut it short there, Kim Brace is having challenges. I don't know if he's not seeing everything else. He's not seeing the view option. He's only seeing you, but not the presentation.
He's not seeing, he should be able to see the, Kim, in the upper right-hand corner, you can pin the presentation or pin my screen, the screen that says Mark Coman. Are we okay? Is everybody else all right? Audio, video, okay? All right. So why travel with us? Why travel with Creative Photo Academy? Why travel with Simba Marara? For me, it's one word, and that's experience. Our experience, Maurice and I, our experience in working together to building the trip, presenting the trip, it's the experience of being on safari with us and the craziness and the fun that we have when we're out there. And it's the lodge and the staff and the people there who will bend over backwards to make it perfect for you. It's the evening with a cocktail out on the river, watching the crocodiles or the sunset, and being in the car and looking out at the river and the beautiful scenery in Africa. It's the experience of going with us. It's different. And we have built something truly magical, truly amazing, where you never know what you're going to see. And at every step of the way, it's just wonder after wonder. And maybe it's when you pull into camp one day, the whole crew from the camp comes out and sings to us as we get into the Jeep to leave or get on as we arrive back. You never know. Or maybe it's that Oscar has arranged this beautiful sunset drinks out on the savannah for us. That's the experience of coming with Creative Photo Academy and Simba Marara. And and Maurice, do you have any comments here, anything to add?
No, Mark, it's there's something about Africa that makes you come back again and again. That's why we have repeat customers coming in.
Yes.
And it's how comfortable and how at home we make you feel on safari. I love the picture you have right now on Oscar, who has been our main guide, the tour director for all this time. So he understands how to handle us and how to move us around, position the vehicles, and give us the drinks and the food that we need on safari.
And the photos.
And the photos.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So it comes down to our team, and you will be interfacing with me on the photo part of it. What camera, what lens, what do I need to learn? You're going to be interfacing with Maurice about the arrangements and the flight and booking the tour. And this is our team here in the States. As I shared earlier, Maurice and I have been working together. I met Maurice in probably 2010 or so. We did our first safari together in 2014, so 10 years ago. And since then, we've been to Kenya, to Tanzania, to Uganda to see the gorillas. We've climbed Kilimanjaro. We're going together to Namibia in April and back to Kenya in October. I've led personally over 20 safaris to Africa, and the best of those have been when I've been working with Maurice to put it together for you guys. I just love this, Maurice. It's awesome.
It's fun. It's fantastic. I love the masks. Can't believe that was 4 years ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's when we did our gorilla climb with masks on.
Yes.
And our team on the ground, guys. So Oscar on the left, Anthony on the right, the most amazing guys you'll ever meet. On the conservation safari, we'll have Anthony with us the whole time. We may get to see Oscar as he comes and goes through our group. Both of these gentlemen are gold guides in Kenya. That is the highest rating for the guides. And of all of the guides in Kenya, less than 1% have the gold certificate. So we have 2 of the gold guides who work with us. It's amazing. So
Yes.
Oscar and Anthony, amazing guys. What do you got to say, Maurice?
Oh, absolutely. They're looking forward to it. Last time I was there in July, I met with Anthony again and Oscar, of course. Every time I'm in the country, I meet with them. We talk about the October coming up and other expeditions coming up, and looking forward to bringing everyone in to Kenya.
Yeah. And Oscar and Anthony work for private safaris. And this is one of the secrets that we have is private safaris has a lot of support for us. Big group in the office, dozens of vehicles, and we'll talk about the vehicles in a minute, how they have custom built the vehicles to what Maurice and I have asked for a photography vehicle. And it's going to be fantastic. The vehicles are fantastic. What you see and how you see it is truly amazing. It's comfortable and fun as we go. And, Maurice and I just work tirelessly to make this happen for you. And, Maurice on the logistics end, me on the photo end to make it perfect for you. Do we have any questions, Maurice? Is there anything I need to answer?
I don't see any questions yet.
Awesome. Good.
Oh, I see one. I see one, Mark. Let's see. What is the difference in animals between Kenya and Namibia?
Oh,
That's
there's
from
not a
Larry.
lot of animals in Namibia. So the Namibia safari is 1/3 landscape, 1/3 people, and 1/3 animals. So if you want an animal safari, Kenya is the way to go. And also Namibia, there's a fair amount of walking and hiking involved at the landscape locations. I know a couple of you have asked about that. So I see Frank asked how many people per row? 4 people per vehicle. We'll get to that, gang. It's all covered. So you have plenty of room to move around. You can stand up, you can sit, you can stand on the seats. And what is the secret that Maurice and I have built? And that is support. So Maurice will support you in getting started, getting you going. I am there to tech support for you on the ground with assisting creative help beforehand. I'll be sending you creative materials on the safari, and then there will be help on the ground, creative help on the ground, image reviews if we have time and energy to do that. And it's just an amazing experience of what we've built. And one of the secrets in this whole thing is what is the vehicles that private safaris and Oscar and Maurice and I have put together. And it just looks like a regular vehicle, but it's the newest of the Toyota Land Cruisers that have been custom modified. So we actually take out a row of seats in the vehicles. So they're custom for us, 4 people per vehicle. So there's plenty of room both to stand and to sit and photograph. So you can get the angles that you want. Everyone gets a great view of the animals, no matter where we are. Everyone can photograph. And you guys will be in the same vehicle with the same people for the whole safari. You will generally be in the safari with your same driver. And Anthony and I will rotate between the vehicles. So there are 4 spots to sit in the back and the front seat. So you can take whichever spot you want. A lot of people like the front seat next to the driver. That's great. A lot of people like the front row in the back or the back row in the back. And then when I come into the car, I will be, either standing or sitting on the cooler box to give you guys the same room when I'm in the car with you. And, with the way we have the vehicle set up, we can actually, four of us, photograph out any side that we want. So no matter where the animals are, you'll be able to get a picture of them. So here's three girls standing up, looking out the front. I'm standing back over their shoulder. We're photographing the zebras walking down the road to us. And this is how it works. We have experimented in the past with taking the roofs off the vehicles. And a lot of the group has asked me to put the roofs back on because it can be too sunny, and if there's rain, it becomes a problem. So we leave the roofs on nowadays. It's just a lot more comfortable. And we're not giving up that much as far as flexibility that way. Any questions about the vehicle so far, Maurice?
No, no question on the vehicles, Mark. The vehicles also, we bring the bean bags as well. We have drinks as well on board,
Yep,
and we make it comfortable.
absolutely. And one of the things you're going to find in your vehicle is you're going to get to know your drivers. And you will be with the driver generally most of the time for the entire trip. For the whole 12 days we're there, you'll get to meet your driver, and you're going to talk to him about what it's like to live in Kenya, what tribe he's from, how many kids does he have, where did he go to school, what's his favorite animal, and you guys are going to have all those discussions. It's so much fun, it's great, and it's amazing. And our vehicles are comfortable. People love to be there. I've actually taken a nap in the vehicle as we drive, but most of the time when you see me, I'll be standing out the top, as I call it, going tank commander, so that I'm surveying the scene. I've got a little bit better view trying to find the animals. And it's a great way to go. You guys are welcome to stand with me if you want, or if you want to sit for more comfort, you're welcome to do that.
There was a question on bean bags. I think we answered that, Mark, as well.
Awesome. Good.
Yep.
Good. All right.
The one
So
more
the
question here is
yeah,
there a way to mount your camera on the roof tracks, a bracket to lock in and swivel?
sure, you can do that. But the problem with that is then you don't have flexibility. We've worked really hard on these vehicles to make it flexible. And, Maurice, you see the guys, you see the Germans who have the captain's chairs with the
Yes.
tripods and the lenses pointed out the side, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
very comfortable, but you can only see a very narrow range. For me, I love the beanbag because I can pick it up and move it to the other side of the vehicle. If you want to bring a Bogan a Manfrotto super clamp and a gimbal and mount that to the top, you're welcome to do it. But I just find it to be a challenge, especially when the action is moving and you've got to move from side to side, as the lions are moving around us, or the elephants are racing, or the cheetahs are running, right? I want more flexibility in that.
What's the weather like in October? Mark, another question here before we move on. What should we
So
expect for weather in October?
what do you think? I have my expectation. What do you think the weather's going to be, Oscar? I mean, Maurice?
It's going to be October is a good time. The weather is nice. It's not too hot. It's just uh, in the middle. Of course, in the morning it's chilly, a light jacket. Then in the afternoon, as we drive around, it warms up. And then in the evening again, it gets a little bit cooler.
Yep.
So it's beautiful weather. We're just coming off migration as well.
And not so much rain.
Not so much rain as well.
And,
Yes.
so the reason why we switched the conservation safari to October, where usually we would be going July or August, is everything is so busy in Kenya in July, August. We don't, because that's the high tourist season, because the Europeans are on vacation. We wanted to do some things that is not possible in the high season because everyone is so busy. So we switched to a lower season. We will have better access to the animals. We'll be less people out on safari with us. We'll have a lot more of our own time with the animals. And that's one of the things we really like. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to.
Next question, Mark, if you let me, from Juanita, will I be comfortable with a non-DSLR Panasonic Lumix.
Absolutely. Everybody's comfortable. We try to make everyone comfortable. And I'm going to talk about that when I talk about cameras. Usually about a third of the people don't have interchangeable lens cameras. So you're fine. It just depends on, Juanita, what your expectations are as the pictures. Because remember, my job is to help you get the best pictures. So um, I will do the best I can. And James, there won't be much opportunity at night because where we are, you're not allowed to be out at night. So because of the rules in the parks, we're in national parks and conservancies where they really limit the amount of activity at night to protect the animals and to separate the good guys from the bad guys, so to speak.
James had also a question at the front. Where in the migration will the animals be?
Ooh, they're
Uh,
heading north, right? At
they're
that point?
heading north, and October is still within the migration window. So
Yeah.
from June all the way to October, we are still within the migration window. And
Yeah, we
Mark, if you
might see some
remember,
animals crossing.
a couple of years back, we were late and we moved and we met the animals. The migration was late, and you met them. I think that was almost 6 years ago. Yeah,
Wow.
so they move. You cannot really pinpoint exactly where they will be, but that's the window for the migration.
Yeah. So the other question people have asked is, Mark, we know that the lodges are sustainable, but is it comfortable? And, I like to tell people it's not camping, and I will camp with the rest of them, but my lovely wife will not. She's coming on the first safari. It's going to be amazing. The rooms are beautiful. The lodges are amazing. The appointments, the level of detail, the
Hot water,
service,
showers, yes.
yeah, hot water showers, massage, cocktails, hot breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Hair
all of that.
dryers,
Yeah,
everything you want.
so here at one of the lodges from last safari, out on the deck, you can sit and have a drink and watch the elephants across the way. That's what happens, right? Because one of the lodges were right on the river. And so you never know what you're going to see right along the river, and we love to relax, to be together, to share our pictures, to share the stories, to share a Tusker after or a gin and tonic or whatever your favorite adult beverage is. And if your adult beverage is a Coke or a glass of water, you're welcome to drink that too. So,
Don't forget Dawa, Mark.
ah,
Dawa
we
is
got
a
to have a
favorite. You
Dawa.
cannot
Oh,
forget
Linda
Dawa.
wants a
Yes.
Stony. She's Oscar's friend if she's asking for a Stony. All right. And what about the meals? So the meals are fantastic. I always end up losing weight on safari in Africa because I just do. I just don't eat as much at home as I do at home, but the meals are fantastic. And so each lodge will have, I mean, they have a full kitchen and a chef, and the chefs have been to culinary school. So some lodges will have plated meals where you'll order your meal from our waiter. Some will have a buffet. Some meals will be taken in the dining room or the boma. Some will be out in either on the patio or on safari. So generally at each meal, you'll find selection of local food, which in Kenya would be kind of so is ugali, which is a
Ugali,
corn
corn.
hockey puck, so to speak. So made out of cornmeal with stews and sauces poured on top of it, and rice the same way. You'll find British style food and you'll find Indian style food. So if you're a vegan, vegetarian, there's always food for you. I've had a number of people come with us on safari with pretty severe dietary restrictions due to health needs, and they were met joyfully at 100% of the time. And one of the things I tell people is, please try to remember to remind them, but the chef, the waiter, after you tell them at the first dinner that you don't eat this and this and this, they remember. They said, "Oh, Mr. Mark, I know, no beans for you," right? And it's just that's the way it is. It's just amazing. And sometimes we're inside, sometimes we're outside, sometimes our meals are remote, sometimes we'll have lunch out in the savannah and we'll pack a meal. It's just amazing. But we don't go there for the food, gang. We go there for safari, and we're going on safari. A number of you have asked me, how physically demanding is it? And the hardest part about safari is getting there in the airport. And for those of you who are worried about walking and travel, it's very easy at the airports today. Just ask for a wheelchair. And they pick you up at check-in with a wheelchair. They take you to the gate. There'll be a wheelchair waiting for you at the other end to bring you out through customs on the other end. You don't have to worry about it. As far as
And
on
Mark,
safari,
on arrival, we receive you at the foot of the aircraft. There'll be someone with a banner, and we walk you through the immigration. It's easy. You don't have to think
yep,
about anything. Yes,
yep.
all the way. Yes.
And if you take the flights I'm going to recommend here in a minute, the group will be together and you travel together. You get to stop over wherever together. You get to know each other, and we'll know each other a little bit ahead of time anyway. So this is great. The hardest thing about it is some of the roads are a little bumpy. And so you have to hang on in the Jeep. I mean, and you've driven on a dirt road before, and it's not like you won't drive on a dirt road again. So it's a lot of fun, but why we go is the photos.
Good
And we're
question,
going to
Mark.
get, yes, go ahead.
Question here from Monica about how many meals are out of the large property in the bush.
Oh, no. Don't know. Depends. So generally we'll have one dinner out of the lodge, and generally we'll have 2 or 3 lunches out on safari, but it just depends on the animals. So it depends on how far we have to go. So if the animals are, a 40-minute drive from the lodge, even though the lodge is right in the park, we never know where the animals are going to be. Or let's say we decide that we're going to go because we haven't seen a leopard yet. We want to go see the leopard, and we know the leopard is over the next hill, and he's 45 minutes or an hour away. We'll drive over to the leopard and we'll pack a lunch so that when we leave in the morning, we don't have to come all the way back to the lodge for lunch before we go out again in the afternoon. And that really depends. That's my job with Anthony and the drivers each and every day as we're deciding where we're going to go, which direction we're going to go, and what we're going to go after today, what we're going to go look for today, what we're going to photograph today. And a lot of that depends on what's available. And with our team, and I didn't say this ahead of time, with Anthony and Oscar's goal level status, they are the top guides in the area. And they can talk to the rangers, the other guides, the people at the hotel, the lodges, the other drivers, and they all share information. So we're not just wandering around blind looking for animals. We have a target, but we still have to go find them. And that's part of the excitement to me, is actually being on the hunt and finding the animals. All right. Any other questions, Maurice? Are we good?
Yeah, let's talk vaccine, Mark. There's a question here on
Oh,
vaccine
okay.
from Linda. Let's
Go ahead.
talk vaccine.
What vaccine are we asking?
So for the vaccine, of course, we recommend the anti-malaria, and we also recommend that you see your primary care provider who will give you a full range of what you need. But for the most part, is the anti-malaria. That's what you need.
That's it.
That's it.
I had yellow fever years ago. My yellow fever is still valid. Some people will want the yellow fever, some people won't. The biggest problem for me is the first time I went, none of my other vaccinations were up to date. I had to get all of them because, all the regular stuff that we should have anyway, but I just had let them go. So just talk to your doctor. It's easy, it's just, and it's not a big deal.
Yes.
All right. So there was a question for Roger. Roger's, what was from Roger? I saw it flash
Roger
up.
was, how many days are we out? How many are we out looking for wild animals in the truck versus touring sanctuaries?
3 days in the sanctuaries, but that doesn't mean, Roger, we're not going to be game driving, because we're going to be game driving to and from the sanctuaries. It's not an either or thing. We're going to have 4 lodges, Linda, and you'll see the lodges. I have pictures of the lodges coming up. And the photography gang at the sanctuaries is amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see it. All right, because you guys want to talk about the pictures. And, you know, one of the things I've done is I've used a lot of our customer pictures in this presentation, and I think it's pretty cool. So these are Evelyn's from our last time to Kenya, and Peter's. And these are the kinds of pictures we're going to be making. And Jane's, and Jill's, and Rob's, and Jen's. It's just going to be so fantastic. And Chuck's, and Karen. And of course, what we see will be different. And Roger, there's some from you, Roger. Thank you. And Mary Jane, and Lisa. You know, everybody's going to have their own take on what they see. And that's one of my jobs ahead of time, is to help you refine the story you want to tell. Another question is, how do you get there? Well, there's a lot of choices, and it depends on where you are. I know, Kim, you're coming from Washington, D.C. Other people are coming from different places. So I like to fly LA to Amsterdam on KLM, which is a Delta partner. American people will fly through London on British Airways. If you're also a Delta partner, you can fly on Air France through Paris, through Air Kenya from New York. If you're a United partner, you'll find Brussels Air through Brussels, Turkish Air through Istanbul, Qatar through Doha, Emirates through Dubai. But this is what I'm flying. And one of the coolest things that's happened is KLM just upgraded the flights. LA to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Nairobi are now on 787 Dreamliners, which is awesome. And this is the flight I fly. I fly it every single time. KLM 602 leaves LA at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on, I'll say, Monday. That gets us in Tuesday morning to Amsterdam. We have a 3-hour layover in Amsterdam at Schiphol Airport, which is an amazing airport, very convenient. It's not generally a very long walk between the plane, the lounge, and back to the second plane, because at noon we board KLM 565 from Amsterdam to Nairobi that gets us in at about 10 o'clock. On the coming back, and most of the flights from your European hubs will arrive in that 10 o'clock time frame. And then again, those flights will all depart in the 11:30 to midnight time frame going back to Europe. So what Maurice and I like to get everybody to do is arrive at the airport on that first day of the safari, the day 1 when we arrive, in that 10 o'clock time frame, so that we can all be picked up together at the airport. Now, if you're flying an airline that gets you in at 5 in the afternoon, that's fine. So we're going to get you, and one of the guys from private safaris, Justice, is going to pick you up at the airport, or Steven's going to pick you up at the airport, and then take you off to the hotel, to Karen Blitzen Coffee Lodge. So, and that's all part of it. We just all do this. So I left this up on the screen a little bit longer. I know a couple of you had questions about my flights. These are the flights that I will book to get us there and to get us back.
And Mark, if someone wants to come in ahead of time, a day or two ahead of time, I can always arrange for that as well.
Absolutely. If you want to come in early, stay late, Maurice arranges that. And let's say, you really want to go see something that we don't have on, you want to stay at Giraffe Manor and have the giraffe come into your hotel room in the morning. You can do that. So Maurice will arrange that for you. If you want to fly down to Victoria Falls, you can do that. If you want to do whatever, Maurice can arrange that for you. That's part of what he does. That's part of this amazing arrangement that we have.
Yes.
So what other questions do you have? So what about your photo gear, right? So I love photography and I love my photography and I love making amazing pictures, but the photo gear is really up to you. It's what expectation do you have for your pictures? And some people will bring their phone only. Some people will bring a big zoom camera. And I know who asked about their Panasonic Lumix. You know, most of the group today will have a mirrorless interchangeable lens camera with lenses. And what you bring all depends on you and what your expectations are. So this is my kit. I haven't even thought about it yet, but this has been my kit for 15 of my 20 years in Africa. Now, the lenses have changed, the bag has changed, the cameras have changed, but it's basically the same kit. 2 cameras, I have Nikon Z8 and Z9, 24 to 70, 70 to 200, 400 millimeter lens, and a 1.4 extender, and a pair of binoculars, a 10 by 30 pair of binoculars. So how does that break down? I've got 2 cameras, one of them with a 400, 500, or 600 millimeter lens. And if you don't have a 500 or 600 millimeter lens and you're happy with 400, that's great, just go. But if you want a bigger lens, I know somebody who can help you with getting you a bigger lens. Yes, indeed. Yes, I bring the infrared, Linda. I love the infrared. And then the second camera will have the 24 to 70 or 70 to 200 lens on it, depending on what I see going on around us and whether I want more scenery pictures with the 24. So think of it this way. Camera 1 with the big lens is going to be photographing the elephant, one elephant, or the rhino in this case. Camera number 2, and the example here, has the 70 to 200 on it to get mother with the baby rhino on it because they're too close for the 70 to, for the 400. Then if I wanted the animals with the background, I would switch to the 24 to 70 lens to get it that way. And we already talked about this. So beanbag, so in the Jeeps will be small bean bags, which are great. And because I'm bringing a big 400 millimeter lens, I do bring a bigger bean bag. I bring it empty. And any of you who want to bring a bigger bean bag, you're welcome to do that. Just tell us ahead of time. And Anthony will go and buy us beans or rice at the local market. We'll pay him for that. And so what I do is my bag takes 7 kilograms of beans or rice to fill it. I pay for that, cost me like 12 or 15 bucks. At the end, I put it back in a bag, I give it to Anthony, and his family eats it for dinner. So pretty awesome that way. But that's how we do it. And you can see on this trip, this is in the old days when we still had the roofs off the vehicles, and we decided to put the roofs back on. So what do you pack? So we're light and nimble. It's a small duffel bag. It's basically the size of a large gym bag. So 3 sets of safari clothes. Why? Because they're going to do laundry for us almost every day. It's amazing. And some places laundry is included, and some places the laundry is going to cost you $5 to have it done. It's super cool. You need a camp outfit. So some of the girls like a jumper or a sundress. For me, it's shorts and a t-shirt, swimsuit, a light jacket, and a raincoat. That's it. That's all you need. And we're ready to go. It's going to be awesome. You know, you've read on other safaris about the weight limits. So Maurice and I have arranged it so we don't have these super strict weight limits. What we do ask you to do is to get your clothes bag down to about 20 pounds, which is very easy to do because most of us are going to have bigger camera bags and we need to offset that. And we have bought extra seats on the airplanes. We do have extra room in the Jeeps because of that. And if you notice, there's no suitcases here. It's a soft duffel that is easy to throw in and out of the Jeeps and throw into the small planes. Any questions about packing? And this is what I wear. So I wear a hat, long sleeve shirt, long pants, sturdy shoes. You don't need hiking boots, certainly not. But I still like sturdy shoes in case I want to walk around. And if we're out walking around, you're going to want something sturdier. I do have people that have gone on shorts and flip flops on safari. I mean, that's 100% up to you. Questions, Maurice?
Yes, yes. So Monica says, I thought they didn't like people in shorts, especially women.
Oh, well, you're thinking about in Saudi Arabia. This is not Kenya. So, you can wear a swimsuit and go to the swimming pool. It's okay. You're fine.
Yes,
We've
yes,
arranged it. It's not a
yes.
problem. You're not going to feel out of place. You don't have to wear a
Absolutely,
burqa.
absolutely, absolutely,
So I
absolutely.
see Barbara. What about mosquitoes? So 20, Barbara, and I hope, knock on wood or simulated wood material, in 20 years of safari, I have put on mosquito repellent 2 nights. That's
That
it.
is true. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely. There's a question mark from Juanita. How many people on the trip?
Hopefully we will have 16. So that will be four. So 16 altogether. So that's 4 Jeeps of
Four
four.
jeeps,
And that's the right number. If we have 12 people, we'll have 3 Jeeps of four.
three jeeps. Yeah.
Yep. So it just depends. So we put 4 people in a Jeep, and that's how we work that. And really, Juanita, I know some people go, oh, I don't want to go on a trip with more than 8 people. Well, there's no real advantage to that. We have a little bit of advantage with if we do have a full group of 16 for 2 reasons. Number one, that means that Maurice will charter an aircraft for us. We will get charter flights between all of our parks, which is an amazing time saving and comfort
Same, same.
saving device. We're going to get to fly on a Twin Otter, which is a faster, more convenient airplane that if there's only 12 of us, will be on a Caravan, Cessna Caravan. Number two, if we have 16, if we're full with 16 people, that means we'll have 4 Jeeps. How many Jeeps will we have out looking for animals, Maurice, if we have 4 Jeeps?
16
Four.
people, four
We'll have
jeeps.
four
Yeah,
Jeeps, right?
yeah,
So
yes,
all 4 of the Jeeps will be out looking for animals, and we're all within radio contact. We're
yes.
all close together, but we're
Mhm.
all looking to find the animals, and it works better. My best safaris have been on the trips where we've had 3 or 4 Jeeps because we honestly get to see more stuff. We get to find more animals. Other questions? Oh,
Yes.
I thought Linda said charter would be nice. Well, Linda,
Oh,
you and
yes.
Scott got to sign up. That'll get us closer to being 16 and 16.
Yeah, no, charter is definitely nice, Mark. It saves time and we don't have
Yep,
to do the scheduled flights. And
yep,
we're able to get from park to park real quickly, and we'll be
yep,
just the same group in one aircraft.
yep. We'll
Question
all
here
fly together.
was, yes, potential lost luggage. What
There's
about
always a potential of
potential
lost
lost?
luggage, but we do. So we've built into the schedule, if you see here, here's the schedule.
Yes,
So we depart from the USA on day 0. And on your day, we'll arrive in Nairobi at 10 o'clock. They'll pick us up at the airport, take us to the hotel. We'll go to bed. And then the next day, day 2, we are in Nairobi all day. We have some great activities planned for us. But this also is a rest day because we'll be tired. We're not going to have an early morning. You're going to be able to want to keep active so that you don't fall asleep to try to beat the jet lag. And number 3, this is our chance that if for some chance your luggage gets lost or
all
misplaced, it
delayed.
will catch
Mhm.
up to us on this day. So this is all
Yes,
planned ahead of time. And so that's also why, guys, I like the flight route that I have with KLM because we have 3 hours in Amsterdam in case the flight from Los Angeles is a little bit late. We still have plenty of time to make a proper connection. So if you're on those European cities, if you're under 2 hours on your connection, um, it's not that the luggage is lost. It's just it doesn't make
delayed.
it to the flight. it'll be there on the next flight. And that flight is the same flight the next day because they only fly one flight a day. So, Linda, did that answer your question? But
And Mark,
knock on
also,
wood.
Mark,
But
if your luggage is delayed, I will bring it to you. So you don't have to worry about it. Once you've done the paperwork, I will bring it to you wherever you are.
all right. Then day 3, we'll leave from Nairobi and travel out to Savo East. We'll be 2 days in Savo East. We'll see what's in Savo East. Then we'll be 3 days in Samburu, 2 days at Old Pajeta, 3 days in the Masai Mara, and then back to Kenya and back to the USA. So what do we have planned in Nairobi? We're going to start with a visit to the to the giraffe, it just went out of my head. The Giraffe Rescue Center.
Giraffe Rescue Center, yes. Karen
Yes.
Blixen.
Yes,
And
out of
Giraffe
Karen
Center.
Blixen, right
Yes,
around the
Giraffe
corner
Center.
from our
Yes.
lodge.
Yes.
So where we'll get to pet and feed the reticulated giraffes, or Rothschild's giraffes, right?
Yes, Rothschild giraffe. Yes.
Rothschild's giraffes. And it's a lot of fun. We'll have started with a nice lunch. We have a nice lunch at Tamambo, which is an amazing restaurant, a lot of fun, then out to see the giraffes. And then the highlight of the afternoon is visiting the Sheldrick Trust. And so the Sheldrick Trust is located on the backside of Nairobi National Park, which is just outside, just around the corner from where our hotel is. The Sheldrick Trust started in 1977, rescuing elephants in peril, elephants that are trapped. You see the elephant trapped in the mud here. They didn't do a lot of rescue of orphaned elephants. And the difference is they rehabilitate the elephants and then release them back to the wild. And that's one of the things that I'm so excited that we're going to get to see that. You know, we'll go and visit, and some of you have visited with us the Sheldrick Trust before. You get to go to their morning session at 10 o'clock, where it's you and 200 of your closest friends get to see the elephants. We are going to go to the adoptive parents afternoon session, God willing, if everything works. So I'd like all of you to write down right now, Sheldrick Trust, Nairobi, Kenya. It's $50 or $75 to adopt an elephant or a rhino. You should do that anyway, whether you're coming on the safari or not. Now, all of you who are coming with us are going to be adoptive parents. We want you to do that, but it's a worthwhile cause. My wife loves getting the emails from Sheldrick talking about what this elephant did today and what that elephant did today and what her elephant is doing today and who they've rescued and who they released back to the wild. You'll love that. And we'll get right in there close and see the elephants. And in the past, on the Parents' Day, we've been able to touch the elephants. It just depends on the group. I mean, not our group, on how they're dealing at Sheldrick. But it's an amazing organization. I want to support them. So we'll spend our first day with them. And that's a great day to get acclimatized to being in Africa. And with there, any words from you on Sheldrick, Maurice?
No, for Sheldrick in Nairobi, it's more of a touch and go since the pandemic, Mark.
Yep.
So once we hear from them, yes, we get the commitment. However, if we don't see them in Nairobi, of course, we're going to the reintegration in Ithumba.
In
It's
Ithumba is going to
much,
be amazing.
yes, it's going to be very exciting. Yes.
So our lodge in Nairobi will be Karen Blixen Coffee Cottages. It's a beautiful location, very peaceful outside of the hustle and bustle of Nairobi town, very quiet. It will be a good place to relax, reconnoiter. And if you don't feel like going out to see the giraffes and the elephants on that first day, you don't have to. You can stay by the pool. You can have a massage. You can do whatever you like to do. And we'll just have an amazing time here for 2 nights, getting adjusted to life in Africa and how it's going to be for our next 2 weeks together. And it's just fantastic. Then we're off the next morning to Wilson Airport to board our flight. And if we have the 16 people, we'll be on a charter. It'll be awesome. Otherwise, we'll be with Kenya Airways. and off to Kenya Airways, flying out to Savo East. And you never know what we're going to see, how we're going to see it, and how close you're going to get to the animals when we're out there. And Savo East is the home of the big tuskers. And I've been told that the reason that the big tuskers grow in Savo is the dirt. What the minerals that are in the dirt strengthens the tusks so they don't break off. So they get these beautiful giant elephants with the red dirt and the big tusks. And that's the home to where Sheldrick releases the elephants. And we'll get to see part of this process. We'll get to, of course, we're going to be safaring and touring. It's not just a tour of these camps, but we'll get to see them with the elephants. We'll be right up close with the rangers and the animals, and then be able to be out and photograph in Savo East the animals. Because we're staying there at a Thumba Hills camp, which is right in the middle of the Savo Park. It's a beautiful camp. Now, I've never been there before. We've never been able to arrange this before to be able to go to the reintegration area. Have you been to the reintegration area?
Yes, been there once, Mark, and it's I couldn't wait to speak about this one here. This is where all we want to talk about elephants comes into play. It's the most beautiful thing to see, the reintegration, and the L is right up front, the feeding, and how the process takes place. Mark, it's going to be wonderful.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So excited to take you guys there and be part of it. Thumba Hills camp is the camp that's right there. So that's where we're going to stay. It's very convenient. Out in Savo, which is in East Kenya, almost to Mombasa, isn't it, Maurice?
Almost Mombasa, absolutely. Yeah, going to high school, Savo was the place to be.
Awesome. And then our next stop, we will move from Savo East to Samburu National Reserve in more northern Kenya. This is a drier part of Kenya. It's almost desertish. And Samburu is fantastic because you have all of the animals under stress because of the dry conditions. The animals gather at the watering holes, they gather at the river, and we get to see lots of animals in compacted areas. And we'll be able to make amazing pictures there of the animals doing what they do and the natural habitat that we have there. It's a beautiful, wide open habitat with the green patches of the river. And we're going to be up near the Buffalo Springs area, and you never know what we're going to find in that part of Kenya, because the last time we went on our way to the Retete Reserve, we found these beautiful Samburu people that we were able to stop and photograph and visit. And it was just so much fun to be able to do that. And you never know. Every step of the way, it's going to be excitement, 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 and different things. So we go up north to go to Retete Elephant Sanctuary. So this is northern Kenya's reserve to protect the elephants, but they also do the rhinos, the giraffes, the other animals there. And once again, now this is a little bit smaller experience. It's a smaller reserve. And the highlight for me there was when we went to the elephant bath. So these are the baby elephants, and they take a bath every day in the water, and you're right up close. Where at Sheldrick, when the elephants are out, there might be 200 people. When we were here, it was our group of 4 and 4 other people. That was it. And what kept us back from the elephants was a string strung between two trees. And they said, just don't go beyond the string. And that was it. There we are. And the safari on the way up to Retete and back from Retete was amazing. There'll be some surprises along the way, and hopefully we'll find some beautiful animals and those amazing Samburu people up there as well. Questions or comments, Maurice?
Yeah, question mark. Mel is asking, are there electrical outlets in each room?
Yes,
and what's
there
the
are.
Voltage?
And it's 220 and it's either a 2-pin European or 3-pin British outlet in each room, Mel. So it's 220/50. And one of the
Next question.
highlights of, go ahead, Maurice.
Now, James is asking if we'll be visiting Nairobi National Park in Nairobi.
No. No, yeah, yes, we will, because technically
We're there.
Sheldrick is in Nairobi National Park, but no, we're not going to be touring in Nairobi National Park. If you wanted to see Nairobi National Park, that's something easy to come in a day early, and Maurice will be glad to arrange that. Or if you want to stay a day later, that's also fine. And one of the highlights of Samburu is staying at Elephant Bedroom Camp. And it's called Elephant Bedroom Camp because the elephants are right there. You see the elephants on the river. Sometimes the elephants walk through camp. It's a beautiful location right on the river, overlooking. It's just very romantic and peaceful and quiet. And you get to hear the hippos in the water at night. You get to hear the water rushing by. It's just a fantastic, idyllic location. And I'm excited for us to be there for 3 nights. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Questions, Maurice?
Mark, you haven't shown birds. Let's talk birds. James
Oh
wants to
man,
talk birds.
I didn't put a lot of oh.
Yes, we have birds. Yes.
Yes, we have a lot of birds. More birds than you can shake a stick at. And then the next day we'll be driving from Samburu to the old Pajeta Conservancy, which is we're moving back more southerly in Kenya. And the old Pajeta Conservancy is all about protecting the rhinos. And you can see the rangers on the left and the poaching patrols in the center there, that they are out protecting the rhinos. Many of you have seen this famous picture on the left by my friend Amy Vitale of the northern white rhino. Old Pajeta is the home to over 200 rhinoceroses. And I know that some of you on my past safaris have been disappointed because we haven't got to have really good sightings of the rhinos. Well, that's over, because at Old Pajeta, you will see rhinos like nobody's business. In fact, if it's possible, we will get to pet Baraka. That's Baraka on the upper right. And he is a blind rhino that is in his pen, and we will arrange to go visit him. And it's going to be amazing. When we walk into his enclosure, he comes running up because everyone brings him a little snack to eat, and he knows that. It's just so much fun. And then we'll be out photographing the rhinos in the wild. We're going to be safaring with the rhinos. And then, so there's my friends with the rhinos on the left, and there's Cheryl and I in the right, petting one of the rhinos from the Jeep. I actually got to make my wife cry because she got to pet a rhino. So that is one of the last 2 remaining northern white rhinos. They have 2 females at Old Pajeta, and they are preparing to artificially inseminate them and rejuvenate the species. And it's amazing the work they're doing and what they're doing there. And that's why we want to support it. So not only will we be able to be out photographing, we'll be able to support as well, and we'll be able to see so much. So this is one of the rhinos as we were out photographing. Picture on the right is at the the rhino graveyard in Old Pajeta. They bury and mark all of the rhinos as they pass away, and it's all from age, guys. You know, they're living 50, 75 years. Now at Old Pajeta, it's not just about the rhinos, but there's other animals there. So elephants, lions, cheetahs. We had a great lion sighting there. It was amazing. And it's wild Africa. And every day we're going to see different stuff. It's going to be fantastic. And another highlight of being at Old Pajeta is we get to stay at Jambo Marara Camp, which of the lodges that we picked, this is probably the one I'm most excited to go back to because it was absolutely phenomenal. You can see the lodge buildings, the pools. It overlooks a watering hole where the animals come down to, and you can see all the stuff. That's the bar dining room area up on the top there. It's just an amazing, beautiful camp, and it's across the road from where the rhinos are. So it's just amazing, and we'll get to see all this stuff. It's fantastic. Just I love it. I just can't, you know, Maurice. I always hate doing these presentations
It's no,
because I
I
want to
want
go
to go now.
tomorrow.
Yes,
I want
yes.
to go tomorrow. I can't wait.
Diablo Batar is a beautiful place. It's a really
Yeah,
beautiful location. It's definitely, yeah. Now I want to go.
yeah, of course. And our last location will be on the Masai Mara. And October on the Mara is a wonderful experience. It will be quiet time. The animals are going to be doing their thing. We'll have beautiful light. We'll be able to be out photographing. We'll have 3 days on the Mara of amazing photography where we'll be out deep, early in the morning and late in the afternoon and capturing just this phenomenal experience that we have in the Masai Mara. And I just can't wait to be there. I mean, it just really just I can't say enough about how excited I am to go with you. And there we're going to be saying it's Soroy Luxury Camp. Um, I know a couple of you have asked, are these tents or are they camps? This is a tented camp, and some of the camps are tented, some of them are hard-sided lodges, but it doesn't matter. They're luxury. You have a shower and a toilet in the room. You have some of them have air conditioning. They have all the amenities, and it's amazing to be there. And it doesn't matter what the tent is or the building is made of. It's where you are and what you get to see. Picture on the left is their sundowner wagon to take us out to have a
Yes.
sundowner if we want to do that. That's the dining room. Here's what the room looks like and the little porch outside your room. You know, so Rob, I know that we talked about another lodge, and I think this looks just as well as what we had already talked about. So I think that you and Donna Marie are going to be super happy with this, and it's going to be fantastic because, you know, I just can't thank Maurice and Oscar and Anthony enough. The amount of hours that that they spent putting this trip together to make it perfect, it's just going to be phenomenal. And we're going to see things that are just beyond belief.
Mark talk Wi-Fi. There's a question on Wi-Fi at the lodges.
Oh, yes, there's Wi-Fi at the lodges. Absolutely.
Yes. And cash, do they take the US currency?
Yes, they do. You don't need to worry about that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I saw somebody ask, how much money do we bring?
Yes.
I bring more than I should, but you know, if you have $500, 500 American plus the tip money that you're going to spend on the tips, and we'll talk about all that, you're good to go. So this is me on my first safari to Africa 20 years ago. You know, and everybody who goes on safari with us says it was their best vacation ever because we get to see amazing things. It's just so fun, so phenomenal. I just can't wait to go with you and share these experiences, to make these memories. And you know what? To have a dawa together. Because we're going to be doing it together and it's going to be amazing fun. So how do you get a hold of me? You guys all know how to get a hold of me. This is Maurice's information. On the email I sent you with the confirmation, on the email I send you tomorrow with the recording is Maurice's contact. If you want to contact him to make your reservation, or if you just want to send him $3,000 tonight, He'll be glad to take that. We'll get you signed up for the trip. Are there other questions, Maurice?
No, I think we covered it all. And my contacts, yes, the questions about how do I get a hold of you, Maurice, and call me 661-678-3869 or email me. I'll be on standby. I'll get you signed up.
Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions? Ha ha ha. Yes, Roger, there's 2 spots open on the first trip. Yeah, so Bill, it's the malaria pills. Yes.
Mark, I see a question there from Mel as far as payment. Those who have made their deposit, you can opt to reduce the balance or 90 days to departure. Full payment will be due.
Yes, the KLM flights are available for frequent flyer. I saw that, James. That you got to negotiate with the airlines with. Don't get me involved in that because that's a no-win situation.
But there's one thing, Mark. So there's a question there is what's the flight time from Schiphol Airport to JKIA in Nairobi?
Not 8 or 9 hours, something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's just, so for me, Maurice, it's a movie and a nap. That's all I care about.
And Schiphol is a really easy, straightforward airport to transition through.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy. It's
Yes.
so easy. And so at Schiphol, from the United States, we either come in on the E gates or the F gates and then depart from the E gates or the F gates. So last time when we went, Maurice, we came in on like E5 and went out on E7. So it was so easy. So yeah.
Let's
Yep.
see. All right, so Roger. Okay, I'll check my email and I'll get back to you as well. Perfect.
All right. Anybody else have questions?
I'm ready to go, Mark. The presentation makes
Mark,
me
you
want to go
didn't
now.
what? Oh, yes, I'm bringing my infrared camera, James. I'm sorry. I don't like to get into too much on the photo details on this one, but yeah, so I am bringing my Z8 infrared as a third camera. And that does mean that I may have to adjust my lenses a little bit to work with the lenses that work with the infrared camera, because if I do that, the 24 to 70 and 70 to 200 don't work with the infrared. So I'll bring the 24 to 120 and the 100 to 400 instead, just so that, but I don't want to confuse too many people about that. I don't know, I probably just did, so. Haha. Any other questions? Who's going to
How many
sign up? Come on.
flights?
So
There was
we've
a question
got
on
one
internal
spot left
flights,
in the
Mark.
first safari,
Uh-huh.
and we've got 3 spots left in the second. Who wants to take those spots? I feel like we're on public radio, on PBS radio right now, getting people to take the spots. Anybody? All right, Linda, but we'll hold a spot for you. Come on. You and Scott are going to be able to do this. It's going to be great. Customs through cameras, Barbara, is no problem. You just walk through, there's no issue. The only problem that you'll have with customs is if you buy too much stuff in Africa, or you buy some wooden products or some like fresh fruits or vegetables. That's the only problem. So the tip per person
Yes.
is $20 per day for the driver and $20 per day for the guide. So we're there. So that's going to be about $500 in tips.
And Mark, you collect that ahead of time and we give us a
No,
group,
we
right?
collected there.
Not
We
anymore?
collected on the last day.
On the last day. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, you got 2 spots on the first trip, Roger. I was joking. Yes. Yeah, and the lodges are $10 a day, guys, so that's not a lot. And all of this is spelled out in the information that you get ahead of time from us, so that I even give you the denominations of the bills to bring. Yeah, so we pretty make it pretty simple for everyone. And I do collect the tips, and I bring cards for the drivers and cards for the guides and cards for the waiters. So that we sign the cards. We make it real nice for everyone. No, it's per person per vehicle, Monica. So you're in one vehicle, you're going to tip that driver, and then you're going to tip the guide. You don't have to tip me because I don't need a tip. I'm good to go with just going. Anybody else? We try to make the same driver for the whole trip. And every now and then something happens, a car breaks and this driver has to go back, and then we get someone else, or logistically it doesn't work. But the goal is that you'll be in car Cheetah, and there'll be 4 of you in the Cheetah car, and you guys will have driver Jim for the whole trip. That's the goal. But sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And the other thing I didn't say, gang, is it's Africa. Stuff happens in Africa. And the best tool that you have in Africa is to be able to roll with the punches. Just relax, enjoy. We're going to have a great time. Let Maurice and Oscar and Anthony and I worry about that kind of stuff.
Yes.
We'll get you from here to there. If your luggage doesn't show up and you wear a Maasai blanket for the whole time, you've still got your camera bag because you didn't check that. You're going to get great pictures and have fun. So, and we'll make sure you get free cocktails the first night. So it's all good. Anybody else?
I think we answered all the questions, Mark.
All
Looking
right.
forward to this one. Yes.
If you guys have photo questions, write to me. Logistics questions, write to Maurice. Thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure with you tonight. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm going to go think about all these pictures and going on safari. So yeah, and you see I've got safari behind me. And for those of you who are local, so we're going to have safari pictures up in the camera store on Saturday. So you want to come down and see those. Saturday, we're also doing our customer appreciation, customer inspiration day. So we've got free classes all day. At 9 o'clock, I'm going to do how to setting up your Nikon Z camera. At 11 o'clock, Mike is going to do 5 basic tips for photographers. At 12:30, Mike's going to do 5 basic tips for videographers. Then at 2 o'clock, Mike's going to do basic tips for film photographers, and I'm going to do 5 tips for black and white photographers at 3:30. This is all on Saturday. So after the new year, Happy New Year, everyone. So Maurice, you and Natalie have big plans?
No, we just sit at home and just wait for the new year to come in, 2025. Excited about that.
You bet it. 2025. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thanks, Maurice. Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Mark. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.